So I hope you watched my previous video about 14 things that I think I know now that I watched the official E3 Fallout 76 trailer. But here are 3 things that occurred to me that might make this new Fallout 76 really stink. And I hope I'm wrong, because I'm a big Fallout fan, and I hope that I'm really wrong about all these things. The first thing that comes to mind is that when we see these scenes, and these are like the brushed up, beautifully polished scenes for the trailer, these look like opening crawls for me. This doesn't look like gameplay particularly. But when we look at the vault, the graphics look exactly the same to me. Exactly the same. And when we see people walking later, you know, it doesn't look that much more polished than it was in Fallout 4. So all these scenes, and maybe there's a little bit more color. It's not as gray as the Boston scene in Fallout 4, but the lighting effects, everything looks exactly the same to me, and that's a shame. I wish there was a big leap of technology, maybe. The other thing that is a little bit of a concern to me is that with the rural setting of West Virginia, do you remember that really bad Fallout DLC, Fallout 3 DLC? It was called Point Lookout. Point Lookout took place south of the Capitol Wasteland in Virginia, and they really relied on some old stereotypes of like country bumpkins and stills and just things that are associated with country folk. That's not, you know, it's like the city slicker versus country folk kind of prejudice, and I don't like that. I know Fallout 4 had the Brotherhood of Steel versus the Institute, and they talked about racism in that kind of way, but I gotta tell you, that was a little more sophisticated. I hope they don't fall back on this rural versus urban thing. And even in Fallout 1 and 2, they had vault dwellers calling you as the player a tribal because you were from the hinterlands and not from the sophisticated parts of civilization that had survived. So I guess that's just part of the Fallout universe, but it's one of my least favorite parts. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments if you want. And the last thing, the third thing that I'm concerned about is that there's supposedly a rumor that we're going to do PvP, that other players, you're going to be able to fight other players. And I'm afraid that if that happens, well, what I'm guessing is that it'll probably happen in designated areas. And I'm guessing there'll be like arenas, or like, it looked like they were trying to do that in Fallout 4 and it didn't happen. So it looks like maybe they'll do that in Fallout 76. And those arenas may be in urban areas. But if that's the case, and you have to rely on experience in order to get good, if I'm not in the top echelon, or if I have to buy skills in order to be able to do PvP, I'll just roam the wasteland. I'll just roam the hinterlands and do side quests, which is pretty much what I do anyway. I mean, I've beaten the main quests in most of these games, or in the games and most of the DLCs, but yeah, if it comes to that, I'll just wander around and do my own thing, because honestly, one of the great things about Fallout is the exploration of the scenery and the settings and the little side quests, and I don't want to be forced to level up when other people do, you know, at the rate that other people do. I mean, games where you have to be the best the first week, it's just not my style. I like the leisurely pace of the Fallout series. So those are my thoughts about why Fallout 76 might stink. And if you have a counter argument, or you want to talk about anything, give me a comment. And if you want to hear more videos, please subscribe. Thank you.